Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have my next video out for you here. Well, this is a little bit different. Going to seem a little bit darker than what I normally do, even though some people think that doing stuff, especially a lot of super religious Christians, think that the fact of me even covering iPad Goat 2 is very dark or something, and then I'm participating in it, or I do Gematria and stuff like that to decode what they're doing, even though Ephesians 5:11 makes it super clear. In fact, I should have put Ephesians 5:11 on here, but any of you religious people that don't know that, look it up, and it says basically that we are to expose the darkness, and that's my ministry, to expose the darkness that's out there, that the Lord He shows me, and the only thing I can do is what He shows me and what He guides me to do. So people can even not believe that or debate that. It doesn't matter to me, but I'm going to continue to put out what I'm shown by the Lord. In fact, what I'm going to do with this video, excuse me, I had a little thing with my throat earlier. I was eating something, and then it's a long story. Anyway, what I'm gonna do here with this video is kind of take you into my process a little bit. First time I've done that, in my thought process and things, in my praying process and things like that, and to give you my thoughts. And basically, I'm gonna pretty much show you chronologically from start to finish what I did to put this together. So that's a little bit different. Usually don't get into all that. But I'm gonna do this for a few different reasons, and I felt the Lord wanted me to do that. So I'm showing you first here that He is definitely connected to pretty much every famous murderer and murder in history. But I'm going to show you that my example will be about over 50 murderers and even their victims that bear His mark and His number. So there's a lot of information here I want to get to, but I want to just say a few things before that. So Gematria that I use, the different ciphers in Gematria I use, they're designed by the elites to basically hide their information. It's a coded language, basically. It's like, if you were in World War II and you wanted to get the Enigma machine, so you could, from the enemy, like you want to get the Enigma machine from the Germans so you can decipher their messages back and forth to each other. Then that would be huge. And in fact, there's stories about all that in World War II. Whether all of it's true or not, who knows? But the idea is still sound, that you'd want to uncover the enemy's way of communicating. Plus, what the enemy does as well is he puts this information in code to the masses as predictive programming. And even more than that, he uses lesser magic in these Kabbalist systems to manipulate the masses into going the direction they want them to go, and to take out any spiritual goodness and bring in more spiritual badness and things by, and for one of the ways they do that is through ritual killings. And so I'm going to show you also, this is going to prove that a lot of the killings that you've seen in the past and heard about, famous people and their famous assassins and their victims and all this kind of stuff, it's all ritualized. In fact, it's not natural. It's not organic whatsoever. And this presentation, part 1 and part 2. This will be part 1, and then I'll have part 2 soon, a few more days later. And I'll finish off the list of people. Will basically prove that. It'll prove that also, I'm going to prove that these different ciphers that I use prove out each other, that they prove basically that this is all planned, that there's nothing organic in this whole thing. It's all murder by numbers. Because he's been a murderer since the beginning, and I'm gonna get into that. So here, without further ado, let me go into this. And actually, one more thing I want to say. I'm also going to include a link in the description box, and also in my pinned comment. I'm going to pin one of my comments at the top. And I've just very encouraged any of you, especially you super religious people that want to say, "Oh, he's so focused on the dark stuff and whatever." I have this great video I just did, which only has right now about 5,000 views. I always want some of these to have more, but it seems like my iPad Go ones do a lot better. But it's not about that. It's about whatever the Lord shows me to do. He has me doing iPad Go stuff more because it's the way He wants me to communicate with people and show, and He's showing me some of the things that other people can't see and things, so that brings people to this understanding and things like that, and also brings people to Him through understanding what the evil that's going on in the world. Okay, but so those links in the description box, that link in the description box of this video I just did, and the one pinned in the top of the pinned comment, the pinned comment, comment that would be pinned to the top, basically, is what I'm trying to say, is the video I just did called "I Found the Gold and Silver Keys." I found the gold and silver keys, and it's phenomenal information. I've got a lot of good reviews from people on it. Information from the Lord on a massive information in the sky, in the stars, sun, moon, stars, and things, and different signs that have been put out there to confirm this time frame that's coming for the birth of the Antichrist. And you don't want to miss it. There's some phenomenal stuff you'll be blown away by, especially if you believe in God, you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, and you believe, maybe even if you believe you're going to be leaving in the rapture, that kind of stuff too. So that's important for you to know this stuff. And it's over 2 years. It take me to get to this point. The Lord's finally completed this massive puzzle, and you'll understand. It's pretty mind blowing. So that'll be also in a sense the antithesis, the good antithesis to this. But there's a purpose in this. The purpose in this is to reveal how evil he really is. Barack Insane Obama, as I call him, Stinky B.O., the 44th Pres. There's a lot of names I have for him. Jack Wagon. And he's the Joker right here. He's really the Joker. And here he is right here as a Joker face. I love that. It kind of shows some of the true colors. I don't like the super things with him having, horns and all that kind of stuff. I like more subtle and effective things like this to show you how evil he really is. And he very much is. And I'm going to prove that, especially in part 2. But I'm going to show you this stuff in part 1. So here we go. So this all starts out with, if you can believe it, Super Daisy Sprinkles. I have to have a little bit of humor because the name is pretty funny. I'm going to try to do a little bit of comedy relief in this thing because it's pretty dark. The subject matter of murders and stuff is very dark. It's not what I would choose. However, I'm not afraid of it. I'm not. I could do whatever. It doesn't matter what the Lord wants me to do. He'll just show me. So I do whatever perspective He wants me to show. So I'm going to show you through my perspective and my process and how this came about. So Super Daisy Sprinkles has been commenting on a few of my recent videos. A newer subscriber that I knew of as far as a new commenter. And this person, I don't know if it's a male or female, I haven't asked. But this person has been giving me a lot of different codes. And I like that kind of stuff. And it makes me think about other things. And there's a bunch of codes. I mean, honestly, Super Daisy Sprinkles, I don't really care so much about the NBA and stuff like that. Even though I've done some stuff about Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and how Obama is connected to them completely, and they're examples of him. Like Michael Jordan's number 23, so was Obama, and he had that jersey when he was in high school, Obama did, and things like that. And I've chronicled that in past videos. In fact, and you want to go back to my past videos and watch Obama is Kobe Bryant is coronavirus or something like that. Obama equals Kobe Bryant equals coronavirus. It's phenomenal. The information I put out in there, it's really, I think it's as far as from the Lord. Like I said, I got a lot of this stuff from the Lord Jesus, and He shows me these things. He takes me down these paths. So he ended up, whoever this Super Daisy Sprinkles is, I don't know. Funny name, I think it's funny, but came up with this thing, and it just stuck out for me. And that's what the Lord does. Someone will comment on something and it sticks out, and then it ends up going with something else that I've been told or shown by the Lord or that I saw. And he's talking in regards to some codes in regards to John F. Kennedy. And this is what he shows. I'm just going to say he, but or instead of saying Super Daisy Sprinkles every time, I'll just say he. Maybe it's a she, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say he just for the heck of it. So he shows me August 4th from Obama's birthday. August 4th, that's known. I mean, it's really not a real birthday. I mean, his birth certificate was proven false by 2 houses of certification, and they both found 9 points of forgery. You can look any of that stuff up. So that means if they present a false birth certificate, there is no birth certificate or no real valid one because he's invalid. So that's super clear. That's been proven without a shadow of a doubt. You can look it up. You can find it. It's been proven. These 2 houses have basically proven this with 9 different certifications or 9 different points of fraud or forgery. Okay. So anyway, from his birthday, or what they said his birthday is, and again, this not his birthday has to do with numbers. It fits all these different things. It's about the Antichrist having this number, and I'm going to prove that. So from his birthday, so-called, to John F. Kennedy's death day of November 22nd, 1963, is 843 days. 43. Wow. I'm a little tired. It's kind of late. I normally don't do a video this late, so Please forgive me if I say something's wrong or whatever. I'm a little tired. I haven't done a video this late in, gosh, several months since I've had a full-time job, and I had to do these videos to the, when I got home, and then eventually produce them late at night sometimes. Or I had to scramble to get something done. It's 840 days. So you take the 0 away, and that's 84. That's August 4th. And that was very profound for me. And I'd seen a few other dates before that had 84s in them. Also, I saw 84s in people's names and different things. And so I'm like, and I really felt the Lord saying, they're definitely guiding me to, there's something to this. And he said some things. So I'm going to get into that. And then I looked, so right away when I saw this, I looked into Gandhi's birthday, his death day to Obama's birthday. Because I thought, was this work for going in the past? Okay, going in the past to his current day? And yes, it does. So 4 plus 9 right here. 4 plus 9 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. Or you can just cross out the 9. Because 9's cross out. They're just a throwaway number. But sometimes you use them for, compressing numbers, and they're beneficial. But, okay, so that's 3 plus 5 is 8. So there's 48 and 84 backwards. So there it is again. So that was pretty phenomenal. And I was like, okay. So from there, I decided to ask the Lord, okay, what are you trying to show me? Are you talking about birthday, dates of death to his birth ultimately? Or what are you trying to show me? Because I don't want to just look at a bunch of different things. And this is kind of how I do this sometimes. Like, what are you trying to show me? You're definitely trying to show me some stuff. I knew you've shown me some of this in the past. There was 84s connected with these births, or with even some births because of these deaths, these ritual deaths. And from their birthday to his birthday and all kinds of stuff, or to the final birth of these things I'm talking about, where he's going to come into a 13-day birthing process and all these attacks on the United States, all this stuff, equaling his birth. And I've shared that in many videos. I'm going to get into all that right now. Even though my next video, I'm going to talk about iPad Goat and really chronicle September 1st through September 13th. And each day is and I'm going to talk about what's going to happen on those days that I can see through all the predictive programming and iPad Go-To and all these different things. And to this point where I'm at as far as the chronology and this process of what's coming in September, I believe. And that's also why, again, watch that video. I found the gold and silver keys. It's phenomenal. You'll see the massive evidence that I have about, this happening at that time possibly. So again, this is always my grand guess, and I do my best to guess. But this stuff, these numbers I'm going to show you are phenomenal. They just work out so incredibly well, and things I've shown. So anyway, so I'm asking him this. Saying, Lord, so I'm praying things. I was on a walk, and then I did some other stuff, and then I took a shower, and then blah, 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 and then I'm praying, and, different things throughout my day. And then he finally says to me, later in the day I'm asking him, he says, a murderer from the beginning. That's what the Lord said to me, a murderer from the beginning. And I knew where that was roughly. I know a lot of scriptures and where they are roughly and things. I know a lot of different scriptures from the Bible. I quote scriptures at times, things like that. But I knew it was in the in the Gospels. I knew Jesus said it. In fact, I remembered that he was telling the Pharisees that they had basically said to him that, they wanted to kill him and things like that. And he said, well, if you were of God, you know that this is my mission. I'm here as, for God, and I'm his son and everything. But since your father is the devil, he's not God, he's the devil. And the devil was a murderer from the beginning. You want to murder me, basically, something like that. Just a short synopsis without me going back to it. But I remember that, okay, that exchange between them and him. And so that a murder from the beginning. So I felt like he was saying really emphasis on murderer. And then I heard, and I'm going to tell you a little bit later, but I heard murderer. And it's, maybe you don't know what that's from, but it's from a movie. And I'm going to show you, see if you can guess. Maybe, can you guess where that's from? Murderer. Anyway, it's just great. I think it's kind of a funny scene too, but I'm not going to tell you yet. But that came to mind too. And it's just like, the Lord does that kind of stuff for me. It's just amazing. So again, I'm showing you my process. And so I thought, okay, it's in the murderers. It's in their names, or there's something with them. And so I started immediately diving into it. And then, but I think the next thing I did is I actually looked up a couple of them. And this was Kennedy and Gandhi. I've always been fascinated by both of those guys. I figured if their stories were true, I would just assume some of it were true. I appreciated a number of their stands, both of them. and I'm not getting to debate on that. Anybody? I think Kennedy was probably going against the New World Order, and then they got rid of him. But if it wasn't that way, I wasn't there. I don't know all the stuff. Who knows? But if that's the case, they're heroes of mine. To stand up, and for Gandhi to stand up nonviolently against a lot of bad things. And there's a lot of great things about some of those things that they've done and stood for. So not saying everything's good and all that stuff at all. But okay, so I looked up some of those stuff, and then I immediately went. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the verse. And so I looked at this verse now, John 8:44, and it stuck out for me. It's just so much. As soon as I looked at this, and I'm going to read this first. Keep in mind, John 8 is 44, okay? You are of the father, the devil, and your will is to do your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks out of his own character, for he is a liar and a father of lies. Now, that's going to tie into this character, murderer. Anyway, I try to make it a little light and laugh and stuff because it's kind of silly. This character's kind of silly too, but my point is that immediately I saw this in John. See that? It's 8:4. Again, that's August 4th, and that's what I was talking about. So the Lord's just working with me on this. I was just phenomenal. I'm going to this passage, and then 44. Obviously, it's verse 44. I mean, that's it. So it's 84 and 44, kind of using the same 4. It was really weird how this is working out. It was like the Lord gave me a code He created a code in the Bible to tell what the enemy's going to do in the future. It's surreal for me. To really realize that and really realize what the Lord's telling me, that is incredible. And some insights he's given me over the years, and I'm just beside myself because I realize how incredible they are sometimes. And I've gotten visions and dreams and things like that. And I'm not, here to tout any of that. I'm just saying, my point is that he's incredible, that if you'd come to him and listen to him and do his will and be willing to go wherever he leads you, that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm like, I'll do videos about this or that or whatever you want. What do you want me to do? And it was just sticking out, and I'm just following where he's leading, and that's what he's doing. And that's what I recommend for everybody. So here it is. I'm looking up Kennedy and this stuff, and this is phenomenal. And immediately I'm looking at these killings, and I couldn't believe it. Look at Gematria, and it's sticking out. Lee Harvey Oswald, 138, and that's 1 3 is 4, and then 8. You get rid of the 0, and that's 84 backwards, of course. Okay, and I'm just going to say these out loud. If I need to write it, I will. Jack Leon Ruby, 822. So 2 plus 2 is 4, so that's 84. Again, August 4th is Barack Hussein Obama's birthday, August 4th. And everything's going to... And the reason why that is because August 4th, okay, and I'm going to get into this in a little bit, but August 4th is his birthday, and his birthday represents ultimately the days in the future I'm talking about, which are going to be his birth, which represent death. So his birth is death. His death is also resurrection. It's a false resurrection, and it's going to be a false, coming back to life in a sense, but it's death and rebirth. It's all about death and rebirth. So his birth is really about rebirth, and it's about death. It's kind of a cycle, okay? So when he says birth, it means death. It's kind of both. It's pretty sick, but it really means, so he's got to create a lot of death to bring in his birth. And that's what these rituals are about. In a kind of ritual where they have a blood ritual, it's about death, about sacrifice to bring in more power. And that's what this is all about. So these are all rituals that the public and the masses are participating in without even knowing. That's the point. And this proves it by these numbers. So the fact is, these are all patsies, by the way. And it's no coincidence, and it's no new thing to say that Oswald was a patsy. It's obvious, and I know some of the background about how he was actually killed and everything, and there's no way it was Oswald. But anyway, I won't get into all that. And I know how the New World Order works. I know how these Masons and stuff have organized this whole thing and got the masses to believe it. And they want to make it look organic, and it's not. It's all contrived. It's all manipulated. It's all controlled. So Oswald supposedly killed Kennedy, and then Ruby killed Oswald. Okay, so we got this sick triangle thing going on here, death triangle. Anyway, so but you notice the killer is 84, and this killer of this killer, and again, supposes. See, it's all about the narrative and about the gematria that they put out to people because they want to control the masses for fear and mean, there's a lot of fear going on at that time in the world and stuff, and uncertainty and all kinds of stuff. When this happened, president was killed. I mean, it's all contrived. There's all kinds of reasons. There's a thousand different reasons for all this. More control, more spiritual control, more fear. I mean, all kinds of stuff. It just goes. I can't get into all that. So anyway, and then look at Lee Harvey Oswald and Jack Ruby. Okay, so let's say you have a news story. Well, Lee Harvey Oswald was killed by Jack Ruby, or maybe they're talking about both of them in a sense. So Lee Harvey Oswald was known as Lee Harvey Oswald in the media, and Jack Ruby wasn't known as Jack Leon Ruby, but that was his birth name. And so they love to do this. They'll do the numbers by the birth names, and a lot of times even by their known names in the public, because it's all gematria. It all works for them. But if you put those two together, Lee Harvey Oswald, Jack Ruby, it's literally 3 plus 5 is 8, right here. 3 plus 5 is 8, and then 8 plus 5 is 13, so that's 1 plus 3 is 4. So that's 8, 4. Literally, it's right there. And then let's keep going. Let's look at Lee Harvey Oswald again in another cipher, Jewish cipher. And again, you could cross out 9, or 8 plus 9 is 17, 1 plus 7 is 8, or just cross out 9 because it's a throwaway number. 2 plus 2 is 4, and then we have 8. So that's 48. I'm not doing that right. Okay, so which is 84 backwards. That's not a coincidence. Again, for all these things to happen like this is not possible. It's not possible. John Fitzgerald Kennedy in English gematria is 4. Again, 1 plus 3 is 4. 9 you can cross out, and then we have 8. That's 84 backwards. Okay, it's right there. Okay, this is phenomenal how this is working out. And this is the process I did. I'm looking at these. I'm just like, what? I'm like, what if this kept going? And at this point, I didn't know. I just started looking at it, and I was only going by the possibility with what the Lord said about murderer, that there's a good chance we're going to see a repetition in the murderers. Okay, and I thought maybe in the victims too, because so far we have that. Let's keep going. We have Robert Kennedy, okay, killed by Sirhan Sirhan. Look at that, 84 straight out, single reduction. Are you kidding me? And then Robert Francis Kennedy is 1-8. And that comes together. 1 plus 8 is 9. Again, you could just throw away 9, and then you have 84. Or, again, you can just do 1 plus 8 is 17. 1 plus 7 is 8. And then we have 4. So I'm just going to throw away the 9s in the future, just unless I need to use it for some reason. But so you understand. But in case you're going, well, why does it keep throwing away the 9s? That doesn't seem right. No, because you're adding 9 to that number. So, again, 9 plus 1 is 10. Then take away the 0, you have 1. So that 9 and that 1, you can just chuck the 9, and the 1, whatever you add 9 to, the number stays the same. Hopefully that makes sense. But look at that. Both are 84. It's crazy. And we're talking about the murder and the victim, okay? This just keeps going. We have Gandhi, and then he was killed by Nathuram Godse. And then look, so we have 8. 7 plus 6 is 13. 13 is 1 plus 3 is 4. We have 8, 4. I mean, are you kidding me? And even Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi is 183. So we have the 8, and then 1 and the 3 is 4. We have 83. And again, this is a little bit scrambled, but most of them are in order, either backwards or forwards. But a few are scrambled like this. But it's right there. It's right there. 8, and then 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay, and then it just keeps going. Now look at this. This is Martin Luther King Jr., and this is James Earl Ray that was said. Again, a lot of these people are framed for this, or mind controlled, manipulated by the people that are their handlers. Okay, and it's getting more sophisticated now. Now we have, it's called, what is it called? Sound to skull technology or something like that, where MK Ultra they can beam thoughts into people's head constantly. It used to be a combination of like deprivation, and torture, and then like suggestion and all kinds of different things, and even drugs, things like that, to get these people, like maybe this guy was just drugged and beaten and different things until they got him to a state where he would actually just be a ruthless killer and kill whoever they wanted him to kill. Okay, that's how this stuff works. This is all contrived, and I'm proving it through the numbers that this is impossible. It's impossible for all these people to have these numbers, all of them that have the same number, 8, 4. It's impossible, okay? And I've done some own private tests with people's names, people that I know that have 3-digit names and then 2-digit names, all kinds of stuff. And there was a massive discrepancy in all these. There was nothing that stayed the same. I've done some other tests to prove this out. And this is just coming up every single time. So James Earl Ray, 7 plus 6, we'll see this a lot. 7 plus 6 is 13, 1 plus 3 is 4, and then 8. 7 plus 6 is a lot. It will be 7 and 6 will be in here a lot. So again, that's 8, 4 backwards. Even Martin Luther King Jr., that went a little bit high there. I hope you can see that. It's 228. Martin Luther King Jr. is 228. 2 plus 2 is 4 and 8, and then 84 backwards. Dr. Martin Luther King. So these are different ways of saying his name. So they got this boat covered, man. They got it completely covered. Dr. Martin Luther King is another way of saying his name. 2 plus 6 is 8. Then we have 4, of course. It's crazy. And then another way of saying his name is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 1 plus 7 is 8, and that's 4. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you getting this? This is phenomenal. It just keeps going and going and going. In fact, I haven't found one that doesn't have that. In the murderers. Now, there's been a few victims I didn't find it in, but the vast majority of the victims, when there was a victim that I knew about or I know about, some of them I haven't looked into their victims, like serial killers and stuff, but I might do that at some point, but I can't imagine every single victim. Like if, somebody had 12 known victims and every single one would be that 84. I mean, it seems less likely that the murderer. In fact, that's what I think the Lord gave me, a murderer from the beginning, and he was really emphasizing murderer. So I was getting that. So I'm pretty sure that that's what I'm getting the clue that he's focusing on, but I'm looking at more possibilities. And if you know some and you put them in comments or something, that's good, or any other ways it could go. You could even go to gematrianator.com and go click on some different ciphers and put in some names and see what you find. I mean, it's phenomenal. So far, every single famous murderer I found is all 84. It's stunning. And I'm proving that to you right now. Okay, so this guy confessed to his murder. I don't know why I have the 4 up there. I wasn't going to put it up yet. But anyway, this guy is Thomas Hagen. He confessed to it, apparently. And that's 48, 84 backwards. And then Thomas Hagen was actually released from prison 44 years after Malcolm X was killed. I mean, are you kidding? Are you killing me? Yeah, are you killing me? I mean, this is a phenomenal. Again, CKBO is the 44th pres. These are some of his known numbers. His birth is August 4th, 8-4. He's the 44th pres, 4-4. It's crazy, okay? And then, so, also, look at this date right here. Do you see this date right here? It says April, which is 4. That's why I have the 4 up there. And then we have 2-8, April 28th, which is 1. And then we have 2010, because that's when the story was out. Even the story has April, and then 2-8 is 2 plus 8 is 10, then 2, and then 1, that's another 4. That's 44. And this is about 44 years being released after killing him and everything from prison. I mean, are you kidding me? And then even to prove that even more, Thomas Hagen in full reduction is 44. All around this is, and again, also the killer a lot of times will have some, attributes and stuff of Stinky BO, and sometimes even the victim will, like Malcolm X. Some people even think that Stinky BO is some kind of clone of Malcolm X, or maybe some stuff from him. I mean, he looks somewhat similar, but not really. I don't think too much. But maybe you think he does. I don't think he does. But and all that, and there's probably some whole backstory another story about that. But I know where he's actually from and some of the DNA and everything. But I'm going to get into all that. Okay. And then his real name, Malcolm X, is Haj Malik Al-Shabazz. And his name is 84. I mean, are you kidding me? Wow. Okay. Let's get into Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And this guy was Giuseppe Zangara. And again, right here we have 8. And then we just take 4 plus 4 is 8. And then 1 and 3 is 4. It's 8. I mean, it's 1 and 3 is 8. Wow. Again, I'm a little tired. 4 and 4 is 8. 1 and 3 is 4. It's 84. And then again, these things prove out in many ways. So if you're going, some people are like, oh, that's scrambled. It doesn't matter. It works out. And then Franklin Delano Roosevelt, his full name as well, is also, so how this one works out, it's 1, and then it's 4, and then it's 8. 2 plus 6 is 8, okay? And then you have 1 times 48 is 48. And that's going to come up sometimes. We're going to have a lot of 148s. Oops, and so 48 is backwards 84. 1 times 48, and they do that a lot. They do that with 1s on 3-digit numbers. 1 times, for example, I've shared with previous videos how Barack Obama is 44. His antithesis is the 144. And there, that's 1 times 44, which is 44. So they're both 44. And I show in this crazy sign in the heavens on either side is 44 weeks for both sides. And that's one's the good 44, one's the bad 44. It's crazy. So, and a lot of the 144 have been recognized by 44. That's a long story. Okay, anyway, we have this exchange between Aaron Burr, who killed Alexander Hamilton in a duel, and that's 8-4. We even have Alexander Hamilton. This is, again, participating in a murder. He was a victim of a murder. Okay, again, 7 plus 1 is 8, and then we have 4. Are you kidding me? And look at this date that this happened on. This happened on July 11th, 1804. Again, we have the 1. This just proves what I just said. What's Frank Delano Roosevelt's number? You have 1. 84 is his number. 84 is 1 times 84 is 84. And then also, this is the date I'm talking about in different videos, 7-11, and I've talked about even 7-Eleven, the store, and now it's showing the future, and that's the 7th month to the least, the 11th day, which is 9/11, which is September 11th. And it's right here. So it's saying September 11th is the birth of Obama because it's 84. That's what this is saying. Okay, and I'm going to share little tidbits like that here and there because I don't show the year on the day and year on everything, but because there's so much. Literally, I could do hours and hours and hours on this, added more gematria. In fact, I'll bet you that I could find most of them have 44. In fact, I've pretty much seen that. And then a lot of them have 57 because he's Mr. 57, a lot of them. Or 75 backwards or 57. I mean, it's crazy. But I don't want to bore you with tons of gematria and have a long video with that. Some people complain about that. And especially, a lot of people aren't numbers like me. Probably a lot of you are not. So you don't, and especially maybe a lot of people don't see that the numbers are so big and that they really prove this. But what I'm showing you right now is off the charts impossible for all these to equal 84. Okay, let's keep going. Abraham Lincoln and John Wilkes Booth. Now this one's crazy. Now I just showed you that July 11th, and this is 11. 1 plus 6 is 7. So that's July 11th backwards, but even more important, so that shows that. But how does it also show his birthday? Remember I showed you, even in that date of Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton, it was 84. Well, 1 plus 1 is, this 1 plus 1 right here, is 2. And then we have 1, 6. The 216th day of the year is 8-4, August 4th. See, it comes right back to 84. And that's happened several times with the day of the year in these guys. And then to even confirm that even more, his victim, Abraham Lincoln, is full on 84. So that confirms that. It's just crazy. Again, what happens a lot of times with multiple ciphers about these famous people and stuff, and these that prove that, these ciphers are telling different parts of the story. They're confirming each other or not confirming each other. And there's a lot of these are not confirming each other. That's another thing about Abraham. See, I won't point all these out, but even in Abraham Lincoln's name, this is 46 for birth, which is 23 chromosomes for the father, 23 chromosomes for the mother. And Abraham Lincoln is also 38. And 38 is the average weeks of a twin birth. I mean, this stuff is, there's so much depth in some of these things sometimes. And especially with my last video. If you watch that video, I found the gold and silver keys. You'll see what that means. Well, 46 means birth for the chromosomes. And you see even 46 is even gematria for birth and born. And then 38 is how many weeks average for twins to be born. The average for a single child is 40 weeks. The average for full term for twins is 38 weeks. And that's in my video that I'm talking about. It's crazy. It's the links in the description box. Okay. And then we have Ronald Reagan and his attempted murder. See, this is a murderer, but this is attempted murderer because he didn't die. But if he had been successful, he would have been a murderer, but just by chance, he didn't hit the right spot, apparently. Maybe it was planned too, but check out, there's a 311 right here. Anyway, there's all kinds of stuff in all these codes, and there's a 57 and a 1, that'd be 57. These are insane Obama's numbers right here. You know, like I said, he's Mr. 57, so that's 1 times 75 is 75. And by the way, from his birthday and these attacks on Beirut and stuff to Hiroshima and Nagasaki is pretty much exactly 75 years. And again, his birthday, and then Hiroshima and Nagasaki were marking that. 75 years is exactly backwards 57. That's another way he's 57. To his birthday. I mean, are you kidding me? And then look, John Hinckley Jr., again, we have a 216 again, and that's August 4th. Now let's look at Reagan's birthday. Wow. And again, I'm not looking at birthdays, I'm not looking at death day, attack days and stuff on everybody, but I felt like I definitely looked at the murder and the victim. Ronald Wilson Reagan is exactly 8'4". 1 plus 7 is 8'4". Isn't that crazy? Oop. Just keeps going. Here we keep going. And now we have this guy. We have oh gosh, what was his name again? James Garfield. I forgot his name. No, I'm not used to the look, but this Charles Guiteau. So that's 2 plus 2 is 4, 8, so it's 84 backwards. And then Charles Guiteau also, sometimes you get some of these people that 3 or 4 times, and I'm not showing all of them all the time, but I'm just showing you this confirms that. And then James Garfield is 8, 5 plus 8 is 13, 13 is 1 plus 3 is 4. I mean, again, a lot of these are going to be the same numbers, and I'm just keep saying them. Hopefully you get that. Okay, so then we have this guy. Now, this is knocked off here. Oops. I do that sometimes. I'm trying to drag something, making it bigger. And anyway, so Gavrilo Princip, he is 84. He shot and killed this guy, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, to begin World War I. Supposedly, right? I don't believe one word of it. This guy was mind controlled. If he even did it, it was someone else, and they pinned it on him. This is how this stuff works. And again, I'm proving that by these numbers. There's no way this all his name and his name, both of these guys' name, his name and his name. There's no way they match exactly with 84 because look, Archduke Franz Ferdinand Karl Ludwig Joseph Maria is 4350. Are you kidding me? That's 4, 8. 3 plus 5 is 8. 84 backwards. And he's 84 again. And it just keeps going and going and going. Hopefully you're blown away. Because I was blown away. I'm like, Lord, I couldn't believe you showed me this. So, I mean, this is just impossible. Look at this whole long name. Are you kidding me? That's impossible. That's like a massive combo that you try to figure out to open a door. Just think of each letter being a combination, like a 26-digit tumbler, and you got to figure that out, and it's got to equal 84 each time. Each time I go to somebody new, the odds get even greater. Each time I go to some group where you have a murderer and a victim, and I'm going to the next one for it to match exactly, each time the odds get massively huge each time. As I'm going through each slide, the odds of each one matching and not one not matching is just phenomenal. Hopefully you get that. Most people won't get that because a lot of people don't understand numbers. Now I want to take a break for a second because I just realized I was going to talk about this in the very beginning. Okay, but I want to talk about this right now. So for the people that know and have followed my videos where I had the former 32nd degree Freemason Jeremy on, he actually wasn't on. I had him on one of my videos because I played an interview he had with Tony at A Minute for Midnight. And then after that exchange, or after I had it on my channel, his interview on my channel, I put the video up, at least half of it I did, then he contacted me and I shared that with people. And we had a great conversation and we were talking for days and all this stuff. And then he had some stuff come up. He had some really bad things go on. He's been messed with quite a bit, and he was concerned for his life and things like that. And so I wanted to read here. I don't want to get into too much because he shared some stuff with me in pictures, and it's crazy. And these people are trying to mess with him and possibly, it looks like, end his life. There's been some attempts on his life. And so I want to ask every one of you, I want to beg you right now, I beg you, in the name of Jesus Christ, in the name of our Father in heaven, that you pray for him. And whenever you think about it, if you pray for Jeremy, because he's a wonderful Christian man, I guarantee it. I know him enough. I've talked to him enough for hours. And he's just a wonderful Christian man. He wants the best for all of you. That's why he's sharing this stuff. He wants everybody to be safe. He's concerned about what's coming. He's been in the Masonic community for his whole life, and his family, a lot of his family are even still. And a lot of them want him dead because of what he's been sharing with me. But it's been good. It actually worked out. I think that I didn't interview him because he said that they really went after the guy he was interviewing with on A Minute to Midnight. So anyway, and I'm like, I'm not afraid of it, but I understand that. Maybe was the best. But he had something that he wanted me to read. And we've been talking, and he was going to do an interview with me, and then some massive stuff came up. I'm not going to get into what those things were They're personal and things, and they're not good. Some of them are not very good at all. They're really bad. Anyway, he's under attack. I just say that big time, huge. Okay, but he sent me this email, and he just said, "I want you to read this." He goes, "I'd love to just say it and give you an audio like he did with Tony with Minute to Midnight," but he just said, I'm just gonna try to just do this and then be done with it. And I said, "That's fine, dude. I have no problem with it. Just whatever you want to send me and then have me read, I'll do that. And then we'll just, and I won't talk about you anymore, and hopefully just get you off the radar. If my show, if my channel and him being on my channel was even on their radar, I don't know, but I know for sure it was on Minute to Midnight because before I even came on my show, or before I even talked to him, he was getting all kinds of surveillance from them. He was getting threats, all kinds of stuff. So again, I just ask you to please, in Jesus' name, in God's name, please pray for his protection. I beg you, and as much as you can think of it, please. I told him that people would, and I assured him that he would be okay, because I really believe the Lord told me as well that he's going to protect him with angels and things. But I asked for your prayers as well. So this is what he sent me to read. So it says, "Aaron, I have decided to get offline. I thank you for all your kind words and friendship. With the interviews I have done online as of late has brought enemies out physically and spiritually, and I have decided to stop giving interviews online. I think the work you have done is amazing and exposing the enemy, and you have a gift from God for sure at deducing this information I couldn't even do myself. And for confirmation, we did indeed watch that video, iPad Goat 2, in our lodge years before it officially came out. And I just want to make sure, let you know something too, that he didn't put in here, but he said it's okay if I talk about. He also mentioned there was the few people that came to show this video years before it came out, because it was released in 2012, but it came out, they watched it years before that, and they said it was the plan and everything. But he said that there was a guy that was with them from Canada, and that's basically Louis Lefebvre, and that he confirmed that. So, and for confirmation, we did indeed watch that video. Okay, let me go down to the next line. And was told how important it was for the future. And then I said, I remember that he had said that they called it the plan. Please keep me in your prayers, as we are at a time where the enemy is trying hard to do everything they can to stop the truth and keep deception everywhere. Thanks for your friendship, Jeremy. Okay, so I just want to put that out there, and he wanted to send me an audio at least, but then again, he had a couple situations that happened right at his doorstep that I can't even talk about, and I don't want to talk about. But I'm just telling you that I just to emphasize that he's under attack, and it's a miracle he hasn't been killed yet. So I'm going to say it that way as well. So thank you for your prayers, and I just bind the enemy in the name of Jesus Christ, and I ask you to step in with me right now. I bind the enemy in the name of Jesus Christ, and I pray the blood of Christ over his life, that he has the guts, like most people don't, to come out and speak the truth and say what he said for protecting people and warning people. It's awesome. And so the least we could do is help him. So Father, I pray the blood of Christ over his life, and I confound the enemy's plans in these demon-possessed people that want him dead for whatever reasons, whatever vendettas they have against him because he betrayed them in their minds or whatever. I don't care. That you confound their plans, you destroy their plans in Jesus' name, you bring down angels to attack and destroy what they're doing and any plans that they might have, and keep him completely safe in Jesus' name. So I thank you for that. And if you ever think of him at different times, pray for him, please, because he's one of those people that's put his neck out like none of us have, and he's getting the whirlwind. He's reaping the whirlwind for it. But he wouldn't do it any other way. But he just said it for now. He's really prayed about it, and he feels like the Lord told him to pull back now. So, and I agree. I concur 100%. So I just wanted to say that, get that out here. So moving on. So then we have, again, these are people I looked in order. This is the order I pretty much looked at these people. And I know a lot of these, I know in history I was a American and different history buff when I was in high school and different things like that. I liked certain history really intrigued me, and so I know a lot of these different people, like Leon Trotsky was a big Bolshevik guy, and this guy Raymond Mercader, basically, or Merciade, or whatever, how you ever say it. Again, we have 7-6 again, 7-6-8. Want to see that 7-6-8 many times. 7-6, especially in English gematria, that's like so many times. It's crazy. 7-6 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. That's 8. 84 backwards. And Leon Trotsky is a full-on 48, which is 84 backwards. I mean, are you kidding me? It's impossible. This is a crazy story. I mean, if you, as far as history goes, American history goes, in San Francisco, this guy Milk, he was the first openly gay. I think he was. What was he exactly with the city? Anyway, whatever. He was the mayor. This guy George Moscone, and then Dan White. Supposedly, again, the story is Dan White was fired, and then he would want to be brought back, and then Harvey Milk said no, or something, and so he came and killed both of them, or something like that. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy, and it may not even happen that way. I mean, these people, and again, my numbers prove that it wasn't just that organic. It was a story. It's probably to pit a conservative. This guy was a conservative against a leftist liberal, and that's horrible. And then get rid of this guy at the same time. Maybe they wanted to off him for different reasons. Who knows? It's just this. Again, this is proving this. So check this out. Harvey Milk, George Moscone, or whatever, how you say his name, and Dan White. Dan White is 84. What a shock. So, like I said, murderer is 84, right? And then Harvey Milk, again, 8. Another way of doing it, instead of 7-6-8, is 8-7-6. 7-6 is 13, 1 plus 3 is 4. 84. Bam. Harvey Bernard Milk, also, remember that 2-1-6 thing? 1 plus 1 right here is 2-1-6. It's also 1-1-7 because that's the birth of the Antichrist as well on 7-11, which is, again, September is septem in Latin. September 11th is the code I've been saying. It's okay, I'm trying to find the code, and I think I've finally found it. I'm guessing anyway. Here we go. So that's 2-1-6. Again, 8-4 is 2-1-6. August 4th is the 216th day of the year, which is CQBO's birthday. And then George Richard Moscone, or however you say that, again, 2 plus 2 is 4, and 8, 84 backwards. Are you kidding? And then here another one, not just Dan White, but his birth name. It's, a lot of times it's what they know, the masses know him by, in the media and stuff like that, and then also their birth name, a lot of times both. It's crazy. And so we have 9, which we just throw away, and then we have 48, which is 84 backwards. Are you kidding me? Here we go. Again, I'm just doing this in order, and I haven't had one that was different. There's probably something out there. There's probably a murder, maybe that's not as famous, or maybe there's a famous one that doesn't have, but that would be the exception to the massive rule so far, because I haven't found one yet. Okay, it's crazy. So we have, I haven't found one yet, and so again, it proves what I've been saying this whole time, that these ciphers are correct, that they're planning, that this is all planned, it's all ritual killings. Now this is organic. The Antichrist Obama is behind all this stuff. At least the symbolism of him is behind all this stuff. And so many things in our media, so many things that we've been told and we believe are all because of this. It's just sick. And our world is so corrupted because of the demons and the people that are sick, that are moved by these demons behind the scenes, that manipulate all this stuff, make it look like it's just some guy who went off the rails and shot somebody or whatever. No, these are rituals, are planned. They harvest these people for their gematria so they can control the masses down to the next point of more rituals. It's just sick stuff. Mark David Chapman. Again, 1 plus 7 is 8. 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 is 1 plus 8 is 4. That's 8-4. I mean, are you kidding me? John Lennon is, again, cross out the 9 because the 9 is a throwaway number. 8-4. John Winston Lennon. He was born as John Winston Lennon. And that is 8-4. 4 plus 4 is 8. 1 plus 3 is 4. And then check this out. When he died, I mean, eventually, and this must be a British thing, I don't understand this, but his full name when he died was John Winston Ono Lennon MBE. But that's 1 plus 7 is 8, cross out the 9, 4, 84. How could this all be? And each time it's exponential impossibility. Each time I go to a new killer and his victim, it just gets more and more impossible because there's got to be one that doesn't fit. I mean, because this is impossible to keep happening. Hopefully you understand this. It just keeps going. Okay, I'm going to run out of victims that hit this, though, but all the murders are going to keep going. Okay, now, this guy, this This is a report. This is another situation, not as famous, but still out there, and it's still a famous thing. This guy was killed. Don Bolles. He was a reporter. Probably got into some he shouldn't have, and the elites want him dead. And then again, 1 plus 5 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4, and then we have 8, so that's 48 or 84 backwards. Oops. And then we have this guy, Max Dunlap, which is 822, obviously 84. And James Robinson, 84. These two guys that supposedly killed him. Okay? And there's more. Donald Fifield Bowles is 282. Again, 8 and 2 and 2 is 4. 84. And then we have the full, both of their names together with an and. Max Dunlap and James Robertson. So you think about this. The reason why they do this is because when they put them in papers and stuff, they say killed by Max Dunlap and James Robinson. And so, listen, I know this is hard to believe for a lot of people, but it's proving out to be true every single time. It's hard to believe that when you say certain words, they want you to say certain words that connect to certain things because it gives them more power. I can't explain it completely. It's something with a spirit. It's a spiritual matter. It's a spiritual thing with the physical interacting with the spiritual and giving them more power. Again, they call it lesser magic. I can't explain it completely. There's some people out there that have talked about how when you speak, the power. I mean, there was a guy who did the experiments. I can't remember his name now. I think it was a Japanese guy. Man, I can't remember. Sorry, but you can look it up. He did experiments on water forming into crystals, and then you basically, as it's happening, you're saying different words to it. If you say mean, negative words, it looks all gnarled and stupid, really funky ice crystals. If you say really gentle and loving things, it gets all beautiful. It's phenomenal. It proves out what I'm saying. Literally, the things you say and even the heart with which you say things are spiritual. But these numbers are designed for them to communicate, but also manipulate. It's just what it is, and this is proving it. Okay, even let me go back in history. We have Marcus Brutus, who in the famous Julius Caesar play killed, stabbed, Julius Caesar, and with some other people as well. But and then Julius Caesar said, "Et tu, Brute?" Even you, Brutus, like you, my friend. You're supposed to be my friend. And then again, 1 times 48 is 48, and then which is 84 backwards. The 148 is going to come up a lot. Okay, and then Julius Caesar is 1 plus 5 plus 7 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. So again, we have 4 and 8. 4 and 8, or 84 backwards. I mean, it's crazy. Even it's stuff very ancient, way in the past. Genghis Khan. Again, these are ones I just went to. They came to my mind. I just went to them. Genghis Khan. 1 plus 7 is 8, and then 4. 84. Even look right here. And I didn't show you all these, but I just thought about it right now. 444 is the number in English Gematria for Lucifer. And then Obama is 36, because you know what 36 is? 666 is the 36th triangular number, which is Obama. It's just crazy. This stuff just goes and goes. I could literally deal with so many numbers and even intricate numbers on each name and everything, and go back here and go, oh, look, Julius is 42. That's Obama's number because he's the 40. He will reign for, the Antichrist will reign for 42 years. 42 months. I mean, everyone's 69. Oh my gosh, that's a big one. Anyway, I guess go through all these numbers, and they're just there for a reason. Now let's go look at this one. This was Khalid al-Islambuli, who killed Anwar Sadat. Okay, but look at both of his names. Check this out. So again, 1 times 48 is 48. 48 is 84 backwards. And that even proves out what his full name, Khalid Ahmed Shokli, whatever, blah, blah, blah. 48 is 4 and 8 and 0 is crossed out. They don't count zeros. And then 84 backwards. So it's 84 and 84. And then look at this. Then Mohammed Anwar al-Sadat is the leader's name, the Egyptian president that was killed because supposedly this guy killed him because of the Israeli-Egyptian peace deal. And so you can't have that. You can't be a Muslim and have peace with Israel. No, you got to kill him. And who knows if he even did it? Probably not. Probably somebody else, or who knows what it was. It was all the elites that wanted. So Mohammed. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. Mohammed Anwar al-Sadat is 282, which is 8. 2 and 2 is 4. And even look at Anwar Sadat, as everybody knows him by, is 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4, 8. which is 84 backwards. All these things, they just keep going. Okay, this is impossible. Here's another one. We have Leon Frank. I'm not going to say that last name. I'm not going to say that. So we have that 4 in there, and then when 1 plus 5 plus 2 is 8. So again, we have 48 or 84. And that's even confirmed by his shorter name. This is his birth name, Leon Frank Kozlok, whatever his name is. But his just shorter name, which the media knew him by, whatever, because of his killing and everything. 3 plus 5 is 8. 1 plus 3 is 4. 84, backwards. Oh my gosh. Okay. And the reason why I showed this also is because this is when I ran out of this. McKinley didn't have an 84. Now, maybe there's one I didn't see, or maybe that's in another cipher I don't really use. That's very possible. But right there, I'm just saying I ran out of a victim. But here goes the murders. Just keep going. Literally, I'm going in order. And because I wrote these down as I was thinking about them, I'm like, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this person? And then their victim, this person. And some of them I didn't even know the victim, or I didn't know necessarily the murder, but I knew the victim, So I'm like, okay, what about, I thought there's another president, McKinley, that was killed. Yeah, well, who's the murderer? I don't know. Look it up. But that was the next person. So I'm doing this in order, how I came up with these. And that's how they came out. It's just crazy. Another one, Yitzhak Rabin, again, he did a peace deal, and then part of that during that peace deal was this guy killed him. Or whoever killed him got allowed that because he split up the land. It's crazy. Okay, so he was killed. Yitzhak Rabin was killed by Yigal Amir. Again, 148. I've shown that a bunch of times, even in the past. That's 84 backwards, because 1 times 48 is, again, they do this a lot. 1 times something. Okay, and then Yigal Amir also is 44. Again, that's Sticky BO's 44th Prez. Okay, but I didn't have anything for Yitzhak Rabin specifically, and maybe he has a different name in Jewish, in Hebrew or something. I don't know. Maybe that would end up 84. That's very possible, but it didn't at this point, and I'm not going to go any farther. So, Mao Zedong. Wow, and he's even spelled Mao Zedong, but the most correct I could find was, and many people said that this is his real name. Mao Zedong is the best translation to English. Mao Zedong, and then Mao Zedong is 8. 5 plus 8 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. The reason why, so then I went from this to assassins. So we went assassins and the victims. Now I went to pure murderers, and I went to him first because he's the first one on my list of mass murderers of in countries and stuff. That as far as I know, he's the biggest murderer in history. Okay, Mao Zedong is responsible for somewhere in the neighborhood, and there's debate on this, 70 to 80 million people of his own countrymen. 70 to 80 million people. A communist. Anybody talks about communism or socialism being all great? Wow, you forgot the whole 20th century. There's so many communists and socialist murderers. It's not even funny. And we're talking over, if you add them all up, over 100 million people in the 20th century, the most brutal century ever in the history of the world. Are you kidding me? And people want to go back to socialism and communism. Are you freaking kidding me? The control and the killing and all that. Well, that's where it's going. We're going back to Maoism. That's what Antifa and all this stuff is all about. And the United States is being taken down, and no one's really stopping. No one's standing up to it, really. Some local people here and there, some things, but it'll just keep getting worse and worse. And this is all by design, okay? Just telling you. Mao Zedong, what a freak. What a freak. What a freak. Going to hell, and I'm thankful for that. Joseph Stalin, somewhere between, I think, if I remember right, 10 to 20 million in the gulags and in wars and such. He's responsible for somewhere in that 10 to 20 million people being killed. Ruthless dude. Again, 148, which is 84 backwards. Okay. These two nuggets here. Again, not as big as Mao Zedong or maybe even Joseph Stalin. Maybe they could rival him, but together they would. Of course, Adolf Hitler. There's that 768 again. 7 plus 6 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. And 8. And then 84. That's 84 backwards. Here's another number right here. The 432. The antithesis to 432 is, the backwards is 234. 234 plus 432 is 666. These numbers are all over the place. It's just crazy. I can't pick everyone out. I could do 10 hours. I'm not kidding. about all these numbers and this presentation that point right back to Stinky BO because it's phenomenal. But you won't get it maybe, and you won't go, who knows? But it's true, and I'm just showing the stuff that you cannot debate with. You could debate, but you wouldn't be right. Benito Mussolini. Again, we have 1 plus 2 plus 5 is 8, and then 4. This guy's responsible for somewhere around 10 to 15 million people's deaths. Sick, brutal dictator, this dude. And everybody knows about this dude. Jews and all kinds of different ethnicities. I mean, are you kidding me? This guy's probably around, maybe 10, 11 million, something like that. I mean, that's as far as what I know. Okay, I mean, who knows what he really is? I mean, what these guys really did and who they really are. I mean, seriously, but what we know from history and everything and what they've been marked as, especially I'm showing you with the numbers, they are massive murderers. Okay, this guy goes, even though he's responsible about 1.5 to 2 million murders. Pol Pot, the psycho dude here, the Cambodian psycho dude right here. Okay, 84 backwards, as you can see. 4 ways, 84 backwards. And he was head of the, again, communist Khmer Rouge. Cross out the 9. It's 84. I mean, can you believe this? Are you getting this? What are the chances? I'm keep going on murders. Literally, like I said, I just kept going. And every one, to this point, I've not seen one that is not. I mean, I'm not kidding. Okay, this is crazy. Maybe you'll find one, or if you look at it, maybe you'll find one or two. I mean, I don't know, but I'm saying so far, I'm setting a precedent right here. I'm setting a precedent. And look at this guy, Carlos the Jackal. So I went from mass murders, political mass murders, and leaders and all that stuff. Now I switched to I'm a hired hitman or whatever. I thought, okay, now let me think of a hired hitman. This is another set of murders. I don't know a lot about how many those out there. I mean, I've heard of different ones, and a lot of not very many come to my mind. But I do remember from the movie The Jackal and some other stuff. Carlos the Jackal. So Carlos is 408, which is 804. The Jackal is 426. 4, 2 plus 6 is 8. Again, 48, which is 84 backwards. His real name is Ilich Ramirez. Again, 8. 5 plus 8 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. 84. Okay, are you kidding me? This guy, the Iceman, is 48. 84 backwards. The Iceman is Richard Leonard Kuklinski. And that is 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. 48 is 84 backwards. Are you kidding me? I mean, in 2 ways right there. The Iceman, and that's impossible. Just that. But again, you just exponentially add all these together, each one, and I didn't have one so far that's not an 84. Either going back to their victims, or even just all these murderers in a row. It's crazy. Wow. Okay, now I had to pull up this because I thought of a more modern day killer right after that. So I think I stopped with like contract killers or whatever because I didn't know about a bunch of them. None come to my mind. So these two, the Iceman and then the other guy I've heard of, Carlos. Maybe there's what was it? Yeah, no, now we go to serial killers after that. So, and again, this is all in order. O.J. Simpson. Again, if I have to separate these and things or whatever. He is O.J. Simpson, which is 1 plus 7 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. Again, you can see this 1,000 times. That's 84, obviously. He was called the Juice. And I've noticed that either the thing that each murder is called is either the and then a name, like the Iceman, or it's just the name, like it could be Iceman, or it could be the Iceman, or both, or whatever. But in this case, it wasn't the Juice, it's Juice, because he's the Juice. So it's actually Juice. And then his birth name is Orenthal James Simpson, which is 84. But look at this, 84, 84, 84. That's a massive coincidence, right? Nope, it's all planned. Are you kidding me? He was planned to kill somebody. I mean, are you kidding me? It was just planned. Or he was harvested as a possible person because of his name. And probably birthday and all kinds of stuff that you don't know. Here you got Charles Manson and Sharon Tate. Very famous murderer and victim. And other victims and all that stuff. Of course, the Manson family and all that. In fact, I didn't look up Manson family. I should have. Wow, that's something to look up. Anyway, I'm going to look up Manson family too. Anyway. So Charles Manson, again, 1 plus 2 plus 5 is 8, and then we have 4. 1 plus 2 plus 5 is 8, then we have 4, right? 84. Sharon Tate, again, cross out the 9. Then you have 84, 9 to throw away. Then we again, Charles Mills Manson, what he was born with. We have 1 and 7 is 8, 2 and 2 is 4, 84 again. Okay, crazy. And then her full name, Sharon Marie Tate Polanski. She's a Polanski, that's right. 2 plus 6 is 8, and then 4. I mean, are you kidding me? What are the chances that the names are known by the public and then their real birth names, so-called real? I mean, who knows what's real anymore? I mean, that's one thing about truth. You dive so much into truth, it's like your world becomes non-reality. The world that you know that you're in, it's all make-believe. I mean, the world that we live in right now is make-believe. It's not the real reality. You know, it's like, I think of Blade. The world you live in is just a sugar-coated topping. There's another world beneath it, the real world. You know, that's so true. It's so true. There's another world beneath it, the real world. And Blade was speaking the truth. Anyway, a little lightness to this heavy crud. Okay, so I'm getting towards the end of this part 1. Then we have Dahmer. Sick dude. Kill people and ate them. I mean, that's just sick. Anyway, this whole thing's sick. All this is sick. But here we go. Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay, we have, again, 1 plus 3 is 4. 6 plus 2 is 8. 84 again. What are the chances of all this? It's not possible. And then Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was 217. Now, what's this? It's not 216, it's 217. Well, 217th day of the year on a leap year, as I've shared in many of my videos, because we're in a leap year right now. We're in the year of the revealing of the Antichrist, I'm telling you. The 217th day of the year is August 4th. 8-4 on a leap year, which is this year. So a couple days ago, August 4th was the 217th day of the year. 216th day of the year normally is a non-leap year. So why is that important? This is crazy. I'm going to get into stuff right here. So whether it's the 216th day of the year or it's a leap year, in August 4th, the 217th day of the year, there's always, whatever year it is, there's always, from these days, there's always, well, we'll do this first. Why is 216 important? And why is 84 important? So 84 is code for 216, and 216 is code for 6 times 6 times 6, which is 666. Oops, 666. So all these killings are 666. What a shock. Are you shocked? You should be, because how did you ever know that every killing you've heard of from a murderer that's been in movies and just been on TV and media and whatever, real and even fake. And I'm going to show you a few that are fake in the next video. They're all 666. It's just crazy. And they all have to do with the Antichrist, stinky B.O. Believe it or not. Okay, so the thing I was saying about what's in common with the 217th day of the year and the 216th day of the year, it doesn't matter which is leap year or a regular year. Each year, each one of those, leap or regular, is always left with 149 days. Why is that important in relation to 666 being the 216th day of the year? Because 149 is simple gematria. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. Simple gematria for 149, the days left over in the year, which is also skull and bones, which is death. Are you kidding me? That's the death symbol, which is 322. It's so much into. Okay, and skull and bones is 84, if you can believe that. Skull and bones is 149, which is how many days left over, and it's 84, the 216th day of the year. So when you take 149 and 216, you get 365. So death, 365 days of the year. I mean, this is crazy. This is what's going on here. This is what the Lord is leading me to show you that this is how contrived all this stuff is. And to glorify death. Death is horrible. You know what? Jesus is above death. Thank God. And he's going to bring us through death, the valley of the shadow of death. You know, he's bringing me through the valley of the shadow of death, and hopefully he does with you. And what's coming? There's massive death that's coming. I'm just telling you, it's around the corner, and look out for September. And we're probably going to see some stuff in August as well, because George Bush and iPad Go backwards says August, and we've already seen some stuff with this tactical nuke that's being proven by one of my videos I just put out, where this guy Duff with Veterans Today, and he's pulled out all kinds of evidence and stuff that was a cruise missile of a tactical nuke that I've pretty much been saying, and the evidence shows from different angles, different videos, there was a tactical nuke used. Look out, truth. Look out. Okay, now check this out. This is crazy. So, what's that? So we're talking murder by numbers. Murder by numbers. 1, 2, 3. I can't sing it. Oh man, it's late. I'm tired and I've got a scratchy throat. Okay, murder by numbers. 1, 2, 3. Easy to learn as your ABCs. Murder by numbers. 1, 2, 3. Easy to learn as your ABCs. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. So basically, Sting and the police were singing this system and this rituals by numbers and proving what I'm saying. And what do they say? What are some of the lyrics in their song? How can you join the ranks of the illustrious in history's great dark hall of fame? All our greatest killers were industrious, at least the ones that we all know by name, because their name is Gematria. That's what they're saying. Because A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, or in different ciphers. But you can reach the top of your profession if you become the leader of the land, for murder is the sport of the elected, and you don't need to lift a finger of your hand. So again, you can be at the top, and you can get this guy, Jeffrey Dahmer, to control him to kill your rivals, or whatever, or a bunch of Christians, or whatever ritual you want to do to get more power and be more sycophantic nugget. I mean, seriously, that's what this is showing. I'm proving it right here. Believe it or not. Okay, I'm proving it. The numbers, this is what they're talking about. This is literally what they're talking about, what I'm talking about. How these murders are by numbers, and even another level is from the Antichrist. In fact, if I probably went through this whole thing, I would probably figure out a code in this song for Stinky B.O. I almost guarantee it. I pretty much know it right now. I could, okay? So I'm sure it's embedded somewhere in there. I've done that with other things. So right now I'm at 32 killers or murderers so far. And so I'm going to leave it to the next video to continue. So we're already at what? Okay, that much time. So I'm going to leave it at the next video to continue. So hopefully this kind of blew your mind. And the point of showing you this is showing how evil, how programmed, and how non-organic this evil in this world is. How it's controlled by the elite, by the people in power, and it's controlled because it's supposed to bring everybody to one goal. All this whole time, hundreds, thousands of years to bring to one goal: one world government, one world religion, one world leader, being Stinky B.O. and all this other stuff. So this proves it. This presentation proves it, and I'm going to get into more stuff. I'm going to get into Stinky B.O. I'm going to get into some other crazy stuff, and even some more details about some of these other people and things that you haven't heard and things. It's going to be good stuff. So as far as information, okay, it's not, overall it's horrible, ridiculous, corrupt, and psycho stuff, but it needs to be revealed, it needs to be shown, it needs to be understood how this is all planned. So without further ado, this is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.